It's Monday, all day long. It's Monday. And we are going to be working with the November kit today with 4 3x4 portraits and a starting point. So I'm going to put 4 3x4 portraits on it, but you can do other things and we will talk through some options there. Now, let us start by having a look at what's already been done with the November supplies. So let's head to the desk. We have got these. So this month we are using from the kit. It just basically has paper. There's one embellishment element, which is a set of chipboard words, but otherwise it's all paper. And this month we thought we would make an effort to kind of fill in the embellishment with stash supplementing. Yeah, so things that we have in our stash that we could then go, actually I've been ignoring you because I've been working from these kits, and this month I'm going to use them. So it means that you can make requests at any time and go, hey, I think this thing that you probably have in your cupboard would work really well, and I'll pull it out and see how it goes. So keep that in mind, a live crowd. So we have made this one with 2 3x4 portraits. This one with 1 4x6 and then a 4-up 4x6 cut down into 4 smaller photos and a lot of purple. 2 3x4s with no frames this time. I almost always put a white frame on, but not this time. And a whole bunch of layered pieces from that kind of autumnal vibe. And then we went to the die cut basket to add in these pieces that are different sizes and shapes, and to get some sassafras letter stickers as well. And then on Thursday, that was pretending to be Friday, again we had the 1 4x6 plus a 4x6 that's been split into 4, but I've given myself more room to put more pictures and some journaling. I do have cute photos to put in here from their last trip, which was the day after that, so that I'll have this all as one bundle. And we added in the book fair collection, which we'd had back when it was back to school time, and so I used some more of that here mixed in with our November supplies. So there we go. That's what we've made so far. So let's put those aside and we can get today's paper out. And the thing I have to scrapbook today is quite funny. It's funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to you. See if you think this would be funny. So while he's been away, there's a trip every Friday, and that's what I was documenting on that last layout, where all the kids on the project go out for a couple hours with their tutor and their chaperones to see something that is both local and educational. And these can be anything from super serious historical things to a walk along the beach to see what kind of stuff you find on this beach and let's do a little cleaning up and things like that, to something that's really quirky, like they went to a sci-fi movie memorabilia museum this past week. So one of the things he has been doing is I get group photos from those, and then they also on those trips can have their own phones, so they take some selfies of each other and all, like pictures of themselves and pictures of their friends. So I get some individual shots too. So while we were there for 2 days, and we're there to see him, but we can't see him. We just see him on the stage and a little bit after. But we don't get to like go hang out with him. He's working. So while we were trying to figure out what to do with the spare time in between, I went on a mission, and I have photos of myself in the same place as all the photos that he sent me of him. I think this is funny. Because he had no idea I was going to do this. And then I did try to send them to him, but he already had his phone off for the day because they don't have their phones off very much. And so I was able to show him when we were on our train home last night. He's come home for a little bit now. And he was just going through every single one going, oh my goodness, you are more and more ridiculous. I'm like, all I did was take the same pictures as you? How is that ridiculous? So what I'm going to do is a lot of the pictures that I was able to recreate are actually group shots of all the kids. So I didn't want to put that here. So what I'm doing instead is that I have this one that I'm going to include both because that's just him and me with the bear. And then I chose 2 that are recreations of group photos, and I'll put the group photos like as a layout of their own on the next page or something. So you'll still be able to see the two and get the joke of what I've done. Make sense? So these were from the Movie Memorabilia Museum. This is a giant set of Doctor Who things. A Dalek, and these are some outfits that Billie Piper wore. This is a weeping angel, which is terrifying to be in the same room with. And this is Electric Mayhem. Hello. Yes, I have rocked out like this with Electric Mayhem. They also have a Kermit, a Fozzie, and a Gonzo, but you're not allowed to photograph them. So the interesting bit about this Movie Memorabilia Museum, which does seem to be one person's insane collection turned into something that you pay a ticket to see. And you know what? I'm kind of here for that. Like, embrace the eccentricity and find a way to make it work. Because I don't want all those things in my house, but I very much enjoyed walking through and looking at all the madness together in one room. But I don't quite understand why, because we don't tend to use flash anymore. But you're only allowed to take pictures in certain spots that are marked with a little thing where it says you can take a selfie here. So I don't have a photo with Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo. And WB actually sent me a message with the pictures he was allowed to take in there. And then he said, there are two things that I really would have taken a photo of, but I have to just have them in my memories. And that is that I stood next to Kermit and Fozzie Bear. And that was me mixing up Gonzo and Fozzie. I went for the Fonz, apparently. I do know the difference. So anyway, he was sad that he didn't have a photo, but he would have to remember that he has stood next to Kermit and Fozzie Bear. And also, further along this wall, he stood next to the outfit from the 11th Doctor with the bow tie. And he got to see that bow tie up close. And OMG, it's a really beautiful bow tie. I never picked up on that when we were watching. Like, it's not just plain. It's a really beautiful bow tie. So I had a heads up from the bow tie aficionado of the house that it was great. So there we go. That's what I'm going to scrapbook today. The fact that I went around and mimicked all his shots. Also, an extra level of hilarity. Of course, I have not taken these as true selfies. I made the adhesive Avenger act as my Instagram husband and take my picture in all of these places. But where do we think this giant bear is? In the Harrod's Beauty Hall, where his female castmates really wanted to spend some of their free time. And he just was like, okay, but can you take my picture with the bear? And then I dragged the Instagram husband into the Harrod's Beauty Hall, and he was kind of grimacing the whole time. And I'm like, I'm gonna take this picture. I need it. So there we go. That's what we're gonna scrapbook today. Is that all right with everybody? I hope you find it as entertaining. Well, a little entertaining. It probably won't be as entertaining as me, as I find it. That's what I mean. Also, I have an update. Now, do we remember my sadness at going to the new Oxford Street Bath and Body Works and being like, it's not right. Everything is too expensive and there are no multi-buy offers and I cannot justify the price of Maleficent themed lotion or anything like that. On to caffeine. No, only this is in Harrods. All of this is in Milton Keynes. This is a museum in Milton Keynes. Okay. But Milton Keynes also has a Bath and Body Works. Get out of London. Not only do they have the scent that I love, they have multi-buy offers. I'm so happy. And I smell like Christmas vanilla cake. I just thought you needed to know after our last discussion on the topic. So there we go. They didn't have the Maleficent though, but I got my Christmas scent. I'll take it. Right. Hello, My name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my... hello. It's not just my hobby. It's also my job. I was about to say that the other way around. But it is. It's still true. It is both my hobby and my job. I still love it like a hobby. It's all good. And that means anytime I do this on the internet, it's considered advertising. So technically, I just need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. And I am grateful for you being here. I'm glad you're here, whether you are live and chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, thinking about coming back to craft, all of it. You can find loads of links to things that are relevant in the description box, including the classes I teach. And I have a lot of Christmassy stuff. You want to scrapbook at Christmas? I'm your girl. So you can find that. You can find normal 12 by 12 classes. You can find the supplies I'm using now, the supplies I'm using at Christmas, the supplies I'll be using on YouTube in December. You can find discount codes, which today, if you use my link and the code early, you'll get 12% off, but also go to the coupons page and add all the freebies because they are piling on the freebies. You get a free Vicky B die cut pack today, which is a pretty good freebie to get, but a bunch of other things too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Let's do some scrapbooking. Oh, the jumper is a funny story. So you recognize this because it's the jumper I'm wearing in my avatar picture, in my little headshot. Yes? And that photo was taken in January of 2020. And I could never update it and have it look the same because that was my friend's sweater and I borrowed it on Main Street, USA. But I found one secondhand. It's mine now. Okay. So we have... Oh, I think let's do this one on Friday. I need to remember to print all the little rehearsal photos and put it on here. But that's going to be good, I think. I think it's going to be good. Just visualizing it being good. Yay! On to caffeine's telling a friend about my Christmas class. Please. That's how my whole world exists. Is you enjoy something and you tell a friend and they enjoy it too and they tell a friend. It's wonderful. Actually, have I ever, it's been a while, if I have told it here, of how I actually started this whole thing and of teaching online, because I don't go on about this very much, but basically I was teaching online when no one was teaching online, okay? So, what are we now? 22 years since my first online class. Hello? That's a fully grown adult that can do all the things. Is there anything after 22? The photo Christmas class is called Share Your Christmas. Yep. So anyway, the first class that I taught online, which was called Guide Words and was a collage class. You could do it with or without photos. It had, let me get these numbers right. It had 18 people in it. Yeah. And the second class that I taught had 37 people in it. Here's how that worked. All 18 of them came back and one of them brought a friend. And that's where I started. 18, then 37, and it's like the problem in your maths class. If this many people come back and this many people bring friends, how big does it get? And eventually it becomes big enough that you can quit your day job and do this. So I really, really, really will never stop being grateful for anybody telling a friend. Thank you, Georgia, for me. She met a new scrappy person who's just picked up the hobby and she immediately gave her my channel to watch. Love it. That's how all of this is made possible. Georgia, I'm not sharing that number. It's big. It is big. But it's also, it varies. So it's the weird bit is, I will say, you can't, there was a point when I was very first starting that I would teach a class and the next class would be bigger each time. Doop, to doop, to do. So you could chart it out like this. But there was there was a time where then it reached a peak. And then it became more of a business adventure. I don't have an MBA. I'm not trained in that part. And so I have to do a lot of experimenting and learning from what does work and what doesn't work. So then I'll have a class that's got lots of people, and then I'll go back to having a class that's, I mean, it's not tiny, but it's not as many people as I maybe would have thought. And I have to think, okay, so what do I do to make that better and more viable? And, you know, keep going. And I find sometimes I think, oh, this is going to be it, and everybody's going to love this, because sometimes, and this is not a scrapbooking thing, this is business all across whenever you're selling something. Sometimes you think by really listening to the specific things that customers, which would be all of you, are saying they want, if you do the things that they say they want, surely that means you're on to the winning formula and everybody's going to sign up. That's not how it works. So usually, the more directly I have taken something from somebody that has said something in the audience, and then other people comment to say, yes, that's what I want, yes, that's what I want, yes, those are my flops. Those are the ones that get the fewest signups. So sometimes I think I'm really going to be onto something, and then by the time I've done it, nope, because it turned out that the person who was saying that might have been super encouraged and excited and enthusiastic about it, but that little group of all the people who then commented to say, oh yeah, that's what I want to, that was literally it, and no one else. So you have to do some balancing and stopping back. Georgia says, what's the biggest in-person event you've ever taught at? Go had about 70-ish. So when I was doing a lot of in-person teaching, 70 was about normal. I think the biggest one I taught was the one in Washington, D.C., and I can't remember how many people we had in the room at a time, but it was like over the course of a weekend, I taught 500 or 600 people. It was a lot. Yeah. So there we go. Now, I don't think it's this one. So I need to make that next week. So I have 3. I was going to say, do I have 2 non-backgrounds? So this one kind of is a background as well. So we could do that one, or we can do anything that's here. But we'll do, if all works out well, we'll do this one on Friday. Would you like this as a starting point or a Friday? So this can either be next Monday or next Friday. Let me know what you think. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we have in here then full sheets that we could work with today. I wonder if we go with something that's pink. What's the closest to pink that I've got? Let's see if I can do this without bashing the microphone. Sorry, Nikki, I'm confused on what you want to solve. I think the messages are maybe, sometimes it doesn't show me all of the chat. So let's see. Okay, so we got brown, coral, which could work. That's not a bad match there. Orange, green, another green. Oh, thank you, Corey. So this one is the peachy one. Anti-caffeine says, when do you decide to throw alpha sticker sheets out? When all the vowels are gone, basically. If I look at it and I can't work out anything I can spell, then it can go. Okay, so that's the pinky one. No, it's quite orange. Okay, but this side is quite pink. Oh, that's the back of the same one, and that's the back of that one. Yeah, or teal. Okay, so teal is an option. These are not. This is, I've already done the olive, right? I've already got one that's on that color, I think. Oh, no, I don't. No, I did both on the teal. Okay, so this can be an option. And then let's look at this one. Hello. Corey says the coral. So we've got this or this in the doodle bug. And I could put those two together. They look quite nice. Or this is a very similar color, but with the different texture. Ooh, I like that. Or the dark. Okay, I don't like that. Come back. Okay. I like this, but I'll use this too. Did the picture just get darker? Oh, yeah, it did. What's happened? Oh, hold on. I forgot to click something. Hold on. What is it doing? Is it frozen everything? Yes. Okay, hold on a second. Are you ready? Hi! Hold on. I gotta reset this camera. Because sometimes if my phone has done something, you know, when you get the messages that say like we're gonna update the iOS or something, you know, the ones that are like from the phone. I don't know how better to say that. Then it'll just freeze everything in the live stream. I don't know. All right, so I've put it on so that nothing, even that, shall disturb. And then we'll put this back in and we'll reset the focus so that we don't get a problem there. We'll plug it back in. You know, I'm a one-woman team. What can I say? Cameraman and everything. Let's see what we got now. Are we moving? Let's move that. And I don't even have a bucket now. So, yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Scrap for Life looks for slang abbreviations in her alpha sets when they run out of vowels. So she can have SMH and WDH and DY and all of those things. Yeah. Amazing. Oh, I'm kind of glad that when I was doing that, it focused on the bulletin board and the board behind me, because that's not an attractive edit there of myself. But, you know, he's okay. He's okay. All right. Georgia did the festive edition of Scrap and Learn this weekend, and she even won a prize. Did anybody else go to Scrap and Learn online this weekend? You will have made beautiful, beautiful things. There we go. All right. So we're going to start here. Let me find my notes on my starting points. So this one? Nope. So this one? Nope. Oh, I think that'll get me there. Maybe? No. Too many tabs. Too many tabs. Story my life and my brain. Okay. I always divide I have this like virtual sketchboard thing, and I divide it by how many photos I have. But then I can't always go back and find them in the right place. You would think that that would make it nice and easy. Nah, not at all. All right, I got it now. I remember where I'm going from my starting point. Okay. Ooh, George's prize was a corner chomper. That sounds great. Right. If you don't like tearing, look away, because that's what I'm starting with. So I want a torn strip that's going to go down one edge of the page. Yeah. pieces along that edge. And I don't want a lot, like ½ inch is fine, but I don't want it to fall off from the tear, obviously, so make sure we're good. Turn this over, cut off the extra. End up with this. Yeah. Then we're going to use some of this, but also some other things. Let me look here. So I think I can even bring that in. Did I have any scraps of the turquoise? Did I use them both as background sheets? I think I did. But I've got a lot of cut aparts here. Now I kind of co-opted this Vicky cut apart. So I could bring in turquoise from there. You got this one or that one. This one, I want some 3x4 pieces. Well, just bigger than 3x4 so that I can mat on them eventually. Let's have this one that says November. It's so cold today. I popped out this morning and it was chilly. Well, WB went back to school today for the first time in like 2 months. And it's so cold that he needed to add the sweater element to his uniform, which he'd never worn. And then when he was getting ready to go, he looked at me and he went, "What coat was I wearing to school?" Because his coat over his school uniform felt funny. He was trying to figure out if it was just the sweater. I'm like, no, when you left, you didn't need a coat. So you weren't wearing a coat. That's why it feels weird. Oh, how times change. Okay. So let's do one of these. It's about 4x6. Make it just a little bit bigger so that I can mat everything. Now, remember, we have been doing lots of distressed edges, and a little bit of texture here and there and dimension by curling up edges and things like that using this non-shiny marker. I thought it was going to be shiny. It's not shiny, and I still love it. It's okay. It's just not exactly what I thought. I need to order a different product for that. Yes, I'm going to edge all of this. And it's okay because I have a scissor sharpener, so I can sort that out if I need to. Okay, and then we want to pile some things up on this. So this is not quite enough yet, but also keep in mind that photos are going to come in. So let's look at other pieces that we have here. What have I got in this yellow? How big is this here? Yeah. So let's make that a little bit bigger. Ali says, is he home for good now, or will he be traveling more this year? So yeah, he will be traveling, and he'll now alternate. He won't be gone for so long. He'll alternate, and he'll be home some of the time, away some of the time, home some of the time, away some of the time. But the time away, the biggest time away, the 2 months, is gone now. So now don't have have quite so long in between visits, and they aren't just 24 hours. So now when he comes home, he can go to school and see his friends and all these things. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. What else do we want to put in there? Let's see what these cut aparts give us. I don't want to go too serious because I don't feel like this sort of stuff fits the tone of the hilariousness. My entire point being, how can I make my son laugh by being a bit of a dork? We can use the top of that just as a little tucky. Is that purpley one too much? Maybe. Okay, but remember, we're bringing in embellishments from stash. So if there's something that you would like me to bring in, say so. I would love to bring in something by your request. Okay. I think maybe we need a little bordered edge. Anybody have a request for a border punch? Which one? Or should I do a lucky dip and see what I get? Because, you know, I do use my favorite all the time, but I could use something different. Oh, I could use a small scallop. What else is here? The one with polka dots and the one with semicircles. Yeah, let's use, good job. Now I can't close the cupboard because the other punch box went behind. Okay, so let's find something that could offer us some contrast here. If I'm adding this green at the top, why don't I add this green at the bottom? Yeah. So I'm not gonna give you specifics about his show here, but oh, I can do notebook paper too. Yeah. But the information is out there now, and I have been giving very big hints. But yeah, he has a very well spoken nanny now. Yeah. Hence all the measuring tapes. Oh, I missed one. How did I do that? Okay. And then Corey says add the notebook punch because he was on a field trip. Well, let's do that too. So we're going to have this to go underneath all this. And I think we'll use the notebook punch on a vertical edge. You know what? I don't like where those ended, so I'm going to change it. And while he's home, I have promised to take him to the Selfridges Disney Christmas thing. So I shall report back and have photos from that, of course. All right, let's add in some layers here now. So when I'm doing pieces like this, I'm looking at all these edges to offset everything. Nothing is just square. Let's bring the edges of this one out a little bit. So I'm going to curl it. It's not quite so stark. So see, I started to put this where they would end together, and instead I'm going to it underneath, which I know is silly because I just twisted those ends up. And do that and then twist here. Sam says, can you explain why you ink the edge of everything that I place down? Sure. The biggest and most important reason is because I like it. But there are more nuanced reasons and design purposes. The biggest reason is I really love mixing collections and supplies from different manufacturers, different designers, okay? So they will all be made with a different visual style. Not all of the colors will match exactly, right? And I'm trying to look at an example here. So actually, none of these colors are in what I've used. Oh, this yellow. Here's a yellow from Bella Boulevard, and this is a Doodlebug yellow, and they're not the same. So various different things. Like this is Vicky's corally color, and this is Doodlebug's corally color. So anytime that I'm putting different things together from different designers, if I ink all of the edges, it gives me something that they all have in common, and it will make it more forgiving of color shift, and it will make it more like they were always meant to go together. Now, then there's another thing. The other reason, I'm not using bulldog clips. The other reason is I like every single piece of paper to feel like it was meant to be that size. Not that I cut it to that size from a 12 by 12 sheet. And so if I ink the edge of everything, it gives it a little finish that says, yes, this was always meant to be that size in my visual vocabulary. However, if you are somebody who likes everything to be super clean and graphic, like you would prefer everything to be in nice straight lines, and you're the kind of person who uses rulers and levels and things like that, and when I say, oh, just eyeball it, there's a part of you that curls up inside and goes, no, that's okay. You might prefer everything to be really square cut and to be bright white without having any distressing to the edges. Neither is right or wrong. They are right for the individual crafter. So if the inking is something where you're like, why? Just don't do it. The only thing I tend to warn people about is that once you start doing it, if you like it, you cannot go back. You will suddenly, nothing will look right unless it's inked. So I just give you that word of warning because I think I started inking in, 2002, yeah, 2001, 2002, somewhere like that. Yeah. So, yeah, there we are. I have been inking since then. Does that help? But those are the actual rationale behind it. Those are the reasons. See this little divot? We're going to take care of that with this and make it look like there's a whole nother tag back there, but there's not. I should probably punch a hole to make it a little bit more believable. It's probably just going to give me another gap that I have to deal with. Yeah. No, I can bring it all the way down and have it be coral all the way through. That's fine. Okay. So this gives us a nice little block over here. That's not going to hold photos because my photos are 3x4. So I need different places to put the photos. But this is where we're going to start. I'm not loving this as a straight edge on top of the torn, so I'm going to try this underneath here, which I think I will like better. So put the coral underneath. Put the yellow maybe on top. Yeah. No. Yeah. Everything is about cohesion. Yeah. Continuity. All of it. Yep. To make it feel like it all goes together. And sometimes people only craft within one collection and they're not collection mixers. So everything would look cohesive anyway. But even with my own collections, I don't particularly like doing that. And I think actually designing collections made me want to do that even less because Because when you're designing a collection, you're designing within limitation. You're never designing a collection going, this is what somebody will use for all of their crafting ever. You have to pick and choose and say, okay, I can't do this, but that's okay because that part is taken over by this that they will have in their stash. So it's really kind of a challenge to just use one because I'm always thinking, okay, that would look nice with this, and I can't put that in this collection. So even when I'm designing, I'll be thinking of what I'm going to put with it before it's even arrived at my house. There we go. Okay, notebook punch, and then that'll be our starting point, and I'll start working with photos from there. So let's get that notebook punch, which had hopefully fallen behind the punch basket because I pulled the basket out too much. And now everything has gone. We'll take the space that your basket was in. No, you won't. Thank you very much. All right, fixed. Hey, Auntie Caffeine has been using her hoarded Head in the Clouds papers for the second time. Yay. Oh, I could have done the same one from here too. Oh, well, it's okay. Now, what might we use with the notebook edge? So we've done green. I'm wondering about using the edge of that. Oh, but no, I need something that's not coral. I need some, the yellow would be great. So what's the other side of the yellow? Floral. I can do that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yay! I love that you used Head in the Clouds with the Oregon Enchanted Castle. There's a guy I've been watching on social media who's doing these, like, he did a big road trip and stopped at all of the kind of funny roadside attractions down the West Coast. So that included the Enchanted Forest, and it included the Oregon Mystery Spot. He went to a train yard place. He went to a hotel where every single room had been done like OMG over the top. All things like that. And I really enjoyed his little 2-minute videos. And Enchanted Forest reminded me so much of a place we have here that I took WB to when he was really small. And in fact, I took him when he was small, literally, because this place charges you by their height, not their age. So I took him when he was so short he couldn't do many of the rides, so he was free. Because we'd never been before, and I was like, what will it be like? And oh, it was interesting. Okay, so we got this little notebooky edge there. Let's go ahead and, did I glue this? No. Do that. And then I feel like I want to do some stenciling, but not another color, like just with my edging brown. So let's see. We could do polka dots, or do you want some other kind of stencil? Oh, I've got a map. Oh, it's purple. I haven't cleaned it. Let's do the map, though. I'll just do the other side. It's fine. So we're going to go here. I'm going to be smart and use tape. And then I'm just going to ink right through there. Yes, Auntie Caffeine says Enchanted Forest is Disneyland's poor cousin. So the way we described this place, because this place also has a castle, even has a mouse as a mascot, and like it had a ride that was like the Jungle Cruise, but the animals aren't animatronics. They're just statues. And like none of them would particularly live on a river. Like the biology teachers and the conservationists and the crowd are going, no, this is not a learning time. This is not a learning time. What else? But everything looks as if it's been designed not just by someone who hasn't been to Disneyland and doesn't have the budget of Disneyland, but someone has just given them a description of Disneyland, and then they've tried to make it without any money. So yeah, that's what it was like. And some of the rides don't have operators. You just operate it yourself when you get there. Some of them have operators, but not all of them. Some of them, you just started it yourself. It would have like a note that says like, parents, push here. Okay. Don't have to tell me twice. Why does that now look like the bottom of a shoe? I just made a footprint. Okay. We got to adjust. That's funny. I didn't think that I didn't notice that was the shape I was making. All right, hold up. Let me just get the purple off, and then we can fix that footprint issue. Oh, why? Field trip to Washington with added dryer noise and the zinc. Okay. Be gone, purple. Oh, we all wanted to turn my sink purple today, didn't we? Yes. It's fine. Okay. Good. Make it dry enough that it's not going to mess up my page because I wasn't doing anything soggy. Everything was dry. Okay. Back to the desk. Oh, Nikki says the footprint works because I was following in his footprint. That's funny. You're right, but it's maybe a little too literal for me. Where were we? There we are. Watch, it's not going to matter anyway because of where I put the photos at the end. Who knows? Okay, just a little bit more. Happy with that. Okay, so that right there, shall I add a little bit of our pen? And then we'll have our starting point. It's going to be brighter on the here, yeah. Okay, I'm not going to ink anywhere else at the moment. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit. The cool thing about the Enchanted Forest, in case anyone wants to go, is that all of the attractions are in an actual forest, and that makes it unique. Yeah, it is cool to go to places like that. The other thing that is really interesting, if you ever want to look up things like fairy tale inspired parks, and you're not from this part of the world where you might have heard of it, look up Efteling, because it is a whole theme parky world of amazingness. It's not Disneyland without the budget. It's just Disneyland with a different team and like a completely different cultural vibe that's made them approach a very similar project in a very different direction. It's on my list of places I want to go. It's probably on the, at some point in life when WB is not working, we're going to go to Efteling. Okay. So that's where we're starting. If you like a screen cap, you can do that. But we learned that if I screen cap it now, it throws the camera again. So I will have to come back and get it later. But there we are. That's the starting point. Now, where could we go from here? Where do we go from here? Depends on how many and what size photos you want to include. If you like really small photos, smaller than this, I would love to see the photo start here and come across. No, Efteling is on the continent. It is not here. Efteling. Is that right? I think so. But obviously this is too big for that because it's the same height. But if they were half that size or little squares, you could do a couple rows across here or one row across there. It would be really cute. But that is not what I have, so that's not what I'm going to do. So let us start with these two, I think. I cut everything down. Yes, it's in the Netherlands. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. We also have in Europe, Europa. If you're an Epcot fan, just hold your breath while you Google, like go to Google image search and see and look up Europa theme park. And you'll be like, no. Just trust me. It's an adventure for any Epcot fan. You'd be like, no, I thought we were the only ones with one of those. Oh, you're not. Aunt Caffeine has seen videos of Efteling and thinks it looks epic. It is. It's brilliant. Maddie Moe has done some theme park visit videos to Efteling. They got many views in our house. By the way, if you have kids and are doing London at Christmas, she's bringing back her Maddie's Curious Christmas show, and it's running at the Garrick over Christmas. It is a great mix of Christmas and science education for littles. Highly recommend it. It's super fun with a lot of interactive, giggly kind of things where the science is coming out over the audience to you without trying to make that. I think that's the best way I could put it. But yeah, they really can accomplish and see quite a lot. WB was probably over the suggested top end for it last year, but really still enjoyed it because it's also very theatrical, like with Christmas elves and stuff like that, and it was just a really good time. So younger ones I would definitely recommend. Why did you stop saying hello? Said hello, and then you took your hello away. I was just gonna finish my sentence and then say hello. You don't have to be shy. You can say hello. Oh yes, Tivoli Gardens is a good one too. The Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen is like an old traditional park. Okay, do we think that's too much overlap? I kind of like it just like that because it feels like this vibe is continuing. Okay, but I don't want them without any paper because that looks weird that there's no paper behind them when there's paper behind this. But we talk about bringing background to foreground. Let's bring left to right. I don't want another border strip down here. I just want to bring this pattern to put it behind there. I've also got that color here. So let's have both of those. See what we can do. Right, so we have, here's our wood grain. So let's cut this with a trimmer. I see. Okay, if you haven't been on YouTube in a live chat in a little while and you've got a funny name that's showing, you need it's a setting where you have to pick your handle. So you need to go into your YouTube account settings, and there'll be a gap where you can set the name that it's going to display there. Yeah? That'll help you. So just like this layer, I'm I do these edges this way. Hello, Lisa. I thought it was, but I also then didn't want to assume and think, I'm sure her name is Lisa. But if I got it wrong, it'd be kind of awkward. Okay, so if we then put this across here, we've got some more space to layer. Put some on this edge so that I can stick them together first, because I was liking this way. Yeah, let's do that way. And then I can put that underneath there, maybe. You can tell his went first because there's no Christmas trees with his. It wasn't Christmas decorations just yet. Okay, no, let's go under there. And maybe I need slightly less difference in height so that I don't end up with the same height as the aqua box. The sound effects help. Okay, so we've got those two photos. And we've got two more. And I don't really have a spot allocated to writing yet, but there are some spots already that could work, or I can add something. So for example, if you just wanted to do this and you wanted to keep this bit really open, like your title could go here, your title could go here, and you could write a journaling thing that gets cut out and put on here, or in strips over the top here, or you could choose a tag that has writing lines on it. You could also write in this white space if you would prefer that to the big open space of it all. But obviously you've got a lot of room. I need to stop talking when I do that. I keep doing it. When I start talking, I just cut in a little bit closer. We could add in journaling boxes in any of this space, or we could write straight onto the background. Okay, cut in a straight line, Shimelle. You know how to do it, but you have to focus. Better. All right. So I think we need to come like further this way. 4. Why didn't I print one more? So annoying. Because even numbers, but now I've got like 2, 4, 6. So I could do that here. Let's do it. Okay, so we need one more tag and one more 3x4 to make that happen. So we have a turquoise tag, but let's cut it down to this way. Go. That's going to go here. We need a 3x4 to go there. So let's start with that same collection, but I don't know if there's anything from it that will work. But let's start. No. No. None of that works. Although, no, the colors don't really work. The turquoise does, but bringing in this red doesn't. Okay. Okay, so if I'm stash diving for 3x4s, Do I have any Simple Stories flip books? They're the ones with no rings, right? Like they're a mini book, but the binding doesn't have metal rings. Is that right? Am I imagining the right product? Or have I got it wrong? If I have got it right, no, I don't. I think I might have had one at one point that I used with somebody for a project, but it's not the sort of thing that would bother me. Oh, Nikki's got a design question. The wood grain goes on the horizontal here. It goes on the vertical here. By how much you see of it, the answer to your question is no, it's not deliberate. It doesn't matter because I knew I was only going to see this tiny little bit. So if you can see enough of it there that it would bother you, then make it the way that it matches if you like. But honestly, when it's that small, it's not even going to enter my mind. It's fine. That's just me. Okay. Georgia says, I wondered what they are like size-wise, as they still have page protectors, but it's a bit more of a metal bar to keep them in. Okay, so I'm not an expert on this one. Anybody have experience with these Simple Stories flip books that you could give some information to our lovely Georgia? Right. 3x4 cards. What could we have? I mean, I suppose it could even be one with rounded corners, couldn't it? Because it's not really going to matter if the corners are square or rounded for just one piece. We've got kind of a mix it all together sort of vibe. One that's a journaling card, so could do... What about this one that says it could be worse? Your mother could come take these pictures in front of you. Your mother could follow you around. Should we do that? I'm fully up for the stage of life where I can kind of make jokes to him in his scrapbook, in our scrapbooks, and he'll just kind of be the right amount of cringy, not like fully mortified, just be like, oh, my mother is ridiculous. That's the era that we're entering, and I'm quite happy to play along. Okay, George's question about the Simple Stories flip books. She's wondering if they are good albums or if they are similar to a postbound and will get fat and hard to store. So anybody with experience on that, we welcome your input. Okay, let's then do the same pieces here but in reverse. I don't have another one of those, but I have some green. And I can do another border punched edge there too. Let's do the border punch bit first. Nikki has been telling her kids that it's in her job description as a parent to embarrass them. I do think some amount of it, when it's done with care and with love, then it's helpful. It's when the sarcasm becomes not, like, if they're like, seriously, this is upsetting. And I found I grew up with some cringe that I was really not accepting of, and no one was getting the hint of, like, please stop doing this. So I now overcompensate, because at the end of the day, he'll be like, you know, it's fine. You know, it is cool. You do make me laugh. I'm like, okay. Just want to make sure that you know. You can tell me. Shut up, Mom. Also, here's a thing that's quite funny. And in this job, he has quite a posh little voice. He doesn't sound like what he has sounded like his whole life. He sounds far fancier. But I think it's eking out the fact that we're going to get called Mommy and Daddy even longer. I was totally expecting to just be Mum now. And we're now in the era of if he's talking to me, I'm Mummy. But if he talks to a friend, I'm his mom. Yeah? Which I think is totally valid. But I didn't think I would still be Mummy. But now that he has to talk like a posh kid and a posh younger kid too, I think I get to keep it a little longer, which is kind of funny. Right, so then we're going to do a little tag top up here. For that, we just take a little rectangle. And then we cut the sides. If you have trouble getting the sides even enough, like I just did, you use one as a template rather than make the mess that I just made. But if you do get one side bonkers, you can just go make the other side bonkers too, and then neither of them's bonkers anymore. That's what I have to say about that. Okay, so we got that to go there, but we need the big piece in the coral plaid. It's funny because there's the other extreme in child performers too, is that I know some child performers who call their parents by their first names and don't use mom and dad at all. Not quite sure where the origin of that is. It's probably unique in every family. But I know more kids like that who are performers than I do who are just other children who aren't performers. I think I only know one kid who's not particularly stagey, who from a young age just called their parents by their first names. And it was so young, it was quite obviously a family decision. Yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes if you have, especially if you're doing a show where your parents are on stage, I think that's where the performing ones get it, is that it just gets confusing. So you have, when you're in character, you have a mom and a dad, and then when you're backstage, those people are their actual names, and then your mom and dad are actually their first names. It is a lot to get your head around. And the thing I find funny is that WB can go ages working with somebody and not actually clock what their name is. And so he'll just call them by their character name for a long time. And so there's somebody in the adult cast on this job that he's worked with before. And when I said that person's name, he was like, "Do I know that person?" I'm like, "Yes, he was this role in Les Mis." He's like, "Oh, I just call him Gorfrak. I don't know his real name." I'm like, "Dude, you did like 70 shows with him. You don't know his real name." "No, he's Gorfrak." "Okay. If you say so." It's a whole little world. Oh, Lisa is just mom now. Yeah. It is quite cute. All right. Again, I get an edge that I don't like here. Let's go there and there. Oh, I suppose it makes sense. It was the same piece that I cut. Of course, if I didn't like one width, I'm not going to like the other one. I don't know why that surprised me. Georgia calls her grandma June just to annoy her sometimes. Is she actually called June at least? That would be funny if she wasn't. I call her June just to annoy her. That's not actually her name. Just call her that. Okay. So then this one heading over to this side. And then here, maybe? And then this one is a lot smaller than that one. But that's okay. I'm going to fit that in there. We've got this tag to come in. Oh, where is that going to go? Maybe not there. because I don't like those two being right next to each other. So let's just hold off on that for a minute. And then these are going to go over here. Do I want them to go right underneath this, possibly? No. Okay, so then we'll bring the aqua back. I need a different piece anyway, so I can make it the right width here. Hi, Pam. Yeah, I'm not convinced it's just a boy thing. Yeah, I think different kids, different ways. Yeah. And I always have to remind, not necessarily myself, but other people, because people are like, you know, like, are these kids normal? I'm like, are you kidding me? They get up on stage in front of thousands of people for fun. They're not normal. They do things their own way. That's why they're doing this. I have hidden the weeping angel. I didn't even notice. That's funny. Okay, let's edge this one. Oh, good. We have an update. George's grand is called June. She didn't just make up a name to call her. Margaret! There's no one here called Margaret. Okay. So now let's tuck this underneath there, but I don't want that to go all the way under there. I want there to be a little gap here. And then maybe, I don't know what's going to go there. Anyway, I was going to say maybe notebook paper, but maybe the notebook paper comes over here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Remember, the starting point was just that. I didn't really, this was not in my original plan, but I've made it work with 4 photos because I gave myself 4 photos. What? Okay, I also, on a completely different note, this week need to tell you about the Greggs Wicked Cups. So those of you here in the UK, I need you to help explain to the Americans, A, what is Greggs, and B, why the Wicked Cups are a big deal. It's not quite on a par with the Starbucks glass bear, because y'all are unhinged over there in that country. But they were interesting to find. So Greggs first. Who's up for explaining what Greggs is and why there are so many of them? Okay, Weeping Angel, where are you going? I know the Weeping Angel is in full view in the other photo, so I'm actually kind of fine with covering her up. Okay, Georgia says Greggs is the best chain bakery, and Nikki says they have the best sausage rolls ever. So Greggs tends to be, now they do them in all different sizes, but it tends to be, especially in cities, these like really small little shops, kind of, we tend to call them hole-in-the-wall kind of shops, you know, where there's not like a big place to sit down with your food. You're just going to come in, get what you want, get out again. And so, and they're everywhere. This town, this shopping center, had more than one in the same shopping center. So they launched this thing last week with like travel cups that are Wicked themed, and there's an Elphaba one and a Glinda one, and the Elphaba one is green with a yellow brick road where the bricks are the size of, or the shape of the bakes that they do, which is a rectangle. So you got to use your imagination here. But it has a yellow brick road, and it says, follow the yellow bake road. Hilarious. Oh, yes. Nikki says the lunch queue at Greg's will consist of people wearing high-vis jackets. If you're near a construction site, you can keep a Greg's in business. No problem. Ooh, George is getting a bigger eat-in Greg's to replace the smaller takeaway one. That's so funny. So they had the Elphaba one that was green, and then the Glinda one is like a pink chessboard. Oh, Corey, high-vis is like the yellow safety jacket that you wear when you're doing like construction work or other dangerous work and you need to be seen, like road repairs or emergency rescue, that sort of thing. That yellow that's like neon, that's called high-vis, like day glow. Yeah, high-vis for high visibility. So they launched these 2 cups, and I'm sure that they thought they would be popular, but they really were really popular, especially with a much younger crowd than you might expect. So teenage fans of Wicked like went mad for these cups. And obviously once a couple people realized, oh, my store sold out really quickly, all the resellers went and bought up everything else to stick them on eBay for 30 pounds. So I had gone into every Greg's I had passed between home and the first tour stop, and I hadn't found anybody who still had the cups, even though they had been out for like a day. Yes, as Georgia quite rightly says, they were popular. They're gonna be popular. Yes. And so when I went into the shopping center that this is in, I walked past a Greg's. My head went that way just to see, because I thought, no one will have them. And I saw the display. They still had the sign up. So I went back and I stood in a very long queue to ask, do you really have Wicked cups? And they said, we have 2 left, but only the green. Well, both kids that I needed a present for wanted the green because they are Team Elphaba. Hello, they're musical theater people. They want Elphaba's cup. So I buy these 2 Elphaba cups, and the reason they still had 2 left is they were on the top shelf and nobody working the front line could actually reach them. So one of the girls on the front line actually said, I've been telling people that we don't have any because because I can't reach them. But the other person on the front desk said, but there's a really tall guy working in the back. I'm going to go ask if he can reach them. And he came out and got them both. So I had the coveted cups without having to go on eBay and spend a fortune. But like, it's the wrong musical, right? Like, so I'm making these little gift bags for debut in a new musical, and then I'm putting in something from a different musical. But so one goes to my own kid who's like, oh my goodness, the Greg's cup. And then I get a message from the other kid's mom who says, was the pink and green bag yours? And I said, yeah. And she said, okay, because you cannot believe how freaked out my kid is about the fact that she has an Elphaba cup, because she has been asking all week for an Elphaba cup, and I was literally considering buying one from the resellers on eBay. You have saved the day. So I'm very excited about that. Georgia says, at what point were you going to go buy a ladder to get those cups? So yes, Corey, like the Starbucks Bear cups that everybody is going crazy for, but slightly more peaceful over here, because I have seen many a video go past my feed about actual fist fights and brawls over those Starbucks Bear cups. It's like Cabbage Patch Kids all over again. So there we go. Now, this is interesting because I'm not sure if I knew I was going to do all this, I would ever do that. Did we just jump track with me there? Okay. Right. So I want to bring in the notebook paper, and I have a little bit of green here. So I've got kind of green as a triangle. Maybe if I do something where it's like the enamel dots are with the 3 spots of green, I might like that better. And then I don't need another one here. But we're going to do something here because this is kind of an awkward space. Okay? Lori says, the best part of the Starbucks Bear Cups are the videos of people making cheap versions with Aunt Jemima bottles or honey bears in the epic size bear that holds animal crackers. I haven't seen the animal cracker one, but I love it. Nikki does not get Red Cup Day at all. Aunt Caffeine is now picturing Elphaba and Glinda Cabbage Patch dolls. Why did they not get on that? I also have to tell you, I sent this video to a friend because it started in such a way that I thought it was going to mean something else. So the person starting the video said, Barbie, I'm going to make up the numbers, but I'm vaguely right. Barbie had 150 partners. And I thought the next sentence was going to be, they're all Ken, and these are all the different Kens that we had over the history of Barbie. Like, I'm here to watch that video. But the next sentence was, Wicked has 450. It was about brand partnerships. But the way she went in with Barbie had 150 partners, and I'm like, show me the history of Ken, I'm here. It had nothing to do with Ken. It had everything to do with the marketing machine behind both Barbie and Wicked, and was to tell you the reason that you're seeing Elphaba and Glinda everywhere is really we have never seen marketing like this before. This is crazy level of marketing. But the musical theater community is really excited to have something that's like mainstream available and they can buy merch for the first time. Because usually their stuff is a little niche. And now their stuff is right there in the open. Okay, what kind of collection are you thinking to go for here? And what kind of embellishment would you like to see? Like, do you want me to go stickers? Do you want me to go weird things? I don't know what weird things would fit there. But yeah, give me a shout if there's something in particular that you think I could add a few of across this layout and it would make you happy. What's in this section here? Those might work. Oh, that's Halloween. That's summer. Okay, let's use those three. All together? Why not? Okay. That one. Red autumn leaves. Why would you add red in here? I'm curious. Oh, gummy bears! I do have gummy bears. And live the dream. Okay. Let's just fill this space here a little bit. Oh. Okay, maybe not. Just a little too big. What about things that are circular? Yeah, I'm liking this one, even if it's the only piece on there that I use. Okay. Gummy bears. Let's get some Live the Dream. Oh, it's over here. Little bitty ones. Start there. I can definitely do like a tucky up there, but do I want something else? Bears. Because I could just move this down here. I like that color combination. Teal and mustard. It's nice. Beige. The M. Oh. The M is red. You're right. But there you go. I've brought in navy from the E. Okay. And this from the B. I was just kind of ignoring the colors that are there. It's okay. Now, we could add things here and here because I've got writing space now. And what are we going to call this? We need some titleage. All right, I wanted to use the notebook paper edge. I'm going to do that with this and put it over here. I love that you were going to suggest cameras, Tiffany. Always cameras. Makes sense. What was the shoe thing we were going to use? Following your footsteps? I mean, that's a lot of letter stickers, but I'm not past it. Let's look at what letters or what words we've got that we might get a hand from, though, because I've got that chipboard set. So we'll start there. Okay, now package to know what words I've got. It's under here. Da, 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 da. How big is the here for it? I wonder if it fits on either of those tags. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. We are the gummy bears. Oh yes, I just had to follow Corey singing in the live chat. Okay. Oh, is here for an it? Are they separate words? I thought it was one, but I just saw 4 on its own, so maybe it's 3 separate words. Joy, thankful, captured. I mean, captured is also has potential. Treasure, discover, autumn, grateful, photo, love. Come on now. What's happened? Did I go? How have I lost these? They're all in here. I didn't think I had any anywhere else. Okay. Let's see what all these say. Side mission accomplished. Yes. I do like the idea of it being a side quest. Okay. Oh, there, I just saw the it. Okay. Oh, no, is that an it? No, it's just I, lowercase I. Yeah. Okay, that's not it. Literally, that's not it. Okay. Huh. All right. Of us. True. this. Good. Story, you, best, we, things, choose, you, love, walk, photo, grateful, autumn, discover, treasure, every day, your, thankful, joy, lovely, moment, forward. Nope, I do not have here for it. I just have the 4. So let's mark that out. Save me doing that again. Because did not enjoy, do not recommend. Okay, so I don't have it here, and I don't have an it. Oh, that is one piece. Hold on, because the 4 is here. I know where it is, I know where it is, I know where it is. I got it mixed up. Got it. Okay. It was in the Christmas chipboard. Okay. That one. And let's do November side quest here. Okay, I'm happy now. And this is correct that I don't have this. Okay. Fine, we're fine, we're fine. Just embarrassed. Reasons why you shouldn't craft with an audience. You end up looking a fool sometimes. Yeah, these are the Vicky words from Curiosities in Willow Grove, which is the same thing that the background paperback is from. Yeah. Okay. Then we just want something to spell out side quest up here. Do I want any of these? Because that would look like one of these would look nice there. Memory this week. Happy, wonderful, keep moving. So I could do today or adventure. I don't know that there's Anne. No. So I can't do this was an adventure because there's no Anne. I mean, I could do it from a different product, but. Okay, so you think it's a today or an adventure? Which one? Because I did do them all in one day. Or November side quest adventure. You can choose. I'm going to find some letters to spell out side quest. Ooh, these might be good. Have I got the right letters? Kind of big. Let's do quest, though, in these. I think I'll have the right letters for that. Yeah. I know what we can use for side as well. U. Why are there no U's? There were only 2, and I used them both? What? Since when do you run out of the letter U first? That's crazy. Okay, what can we do? Because now I'm committed. No, okay, hold on. A moment. Please help me find the design mistake here. Q, Q, Q. There are 3 Qs. This was a T. I can see the outlines. This was a T. U, U. Excuse me? No. You cannot have fewer U's than you have Q's. Just saying. Okay, what can I do? I know what I can do. Right. I'm going to come back over here. We're going to use this green alpha that I used the other day. And we're going to swap it around, but there is a big difference in the size. Georgia, excuse me. I have to go back and look at all my alphas now, the ones that I designed, because I remember that being a meeting on the very first collection. But it could have happened later, and I would be really unhappy with myself. Okay, I'm really curious. Like or hate. I think this is an alpha technique that's going to be Marmite. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But I'm kind of loving it. That says side quest. Okay, and you all agreed on adventure, so we'll put today back. And we'll put adventure down here. Like that. Okay, maybe if I get one of the foam gummy bears to put on here, and then we'll do some dots. Foam gummy bears, where are you? That's a normal sentence that people say all the time, right? Where are my foam gummy bears? But seriously, where? I don't know. I feel like not put away because I feel like I've been seeing them a lot. So where? Do you like hearing me wander around my stash? No, it's okay. I have a backup spot. Should be a set in here. But how easy is it to get to them? Oh, probably here. I was in the middle of putting a bunch of pieces away, so I have the, when you start dividing things by where they need to go, but then you've stopped to do a video. Okay. This is the master box of Live the Dream. Are they in there? Yeah, there's some here. Please be a gummy bear on this sheet. Yes. Phew. Otherwise, I just did some... Oh, I shouldn't have done the I and the Q. I should have done a different letter. I can do a different letter. George is saying the IQ is sticking out too much. Okay, I can change that. That's not a problem. Okay, we got... What colors? Aqua, purple, red. hold on. What if we swap to the D? Then it's going to look like Dairy Queen. Let's try it. Oh my goodness. Nikki has looked up and found that there are, how many? Where did it just go? 117 words in the English language that use a Q without a U after it. I'm sorry, I know. So I could do this, but no, I like it better with the I. The D is just too wide to make it work for me. But there we go. I'm okay with it if you don't love it. It's okay. Don't do it in your album if you don't love it. I kind of like it a lot. Okay. Gummy bear. Do the same color, and then there's one that's more like a speech bubble. Yeah, I'm gonna try this speech bubble. This is from the thickers that have the alpha. So we could have just used this to spell out side quest as well. So we're gonna try this one. Yes? Okay, would you like to see this just written in one font? Are you cool with it? You can decide, because I do really like it. I'm going to leave it. Do it in one font if you don't like it. Okay? All right. Now, dots, and I wanted to bring the dots to the 3 places where the green is here. I know there's some green in between there too. And I think we go with that palest yellow because it matches that paper. Here. And then we're going to go to some gold. Now, somebody asked, even before we got started today, which is the gold? The gold that I use is fossilized amber. Bring the gold to the places where the dots are, and then work out from there. This corner, keep in mind the more gold you add on top of the journaling box, the more damage it's going to do to your pens. It's not the end of the world, but you know, if you journal with things that are precious and you use super fine point pens, it's hard and difficult to write over it. Okay, now, a while back in the video, Nikki asked for binder clips. I'm not using them because I don't like them. But you definitely could do it. I'm just saying. But I'm not. Okay? That's where I'm going to stop with today's starting point. So we started with just this strip down the side and then this without any wording on it and no gummy bear. So you could have just done one photo here and had nice open space and run a long title underneath. You could have had lots of journaling space underneath. But you could also keep adding more photos. Now you could add even more photos than this because you could, instead of repeating this 3x4 plus a tag, you could do 2 photos across here. So you could have 6 3x4 photos on this because you could have 4 across the bottom and 2 up here. And then instead of putting gummy bears, you put your journaling tag there. Yeah? Lots of different options from the same start. And that's what we do with starting points. Now, let's talk a little bit about what will be coming this week. here on YouTube. The normal live stream time on Friday is a Friday this time, so that's 10 a.m. on Friday. Also, I haven't set an exact time for it yet, but there will be one pre-recorded video this week, which is my unboxing and making something with the Live the Dream super bargain box from scrapbook.com. And so I will be doing a pre-record with that, and once I have the time, I will publish that, and we'll do a premiere so that there'll be a live chat when it goes out. Then, if you are in classes, so if you've done Ready for December, you basically have all of the content there, but I am going to do a few little wrap-up notes that I always intended you to have halfway through November so that you could have kind of a little reality check of you started at the beginning of November and you want to be ready for December, and we're kind of halfway through November. So I will be doing that in the next couple days on Ready for December. And then because Ready for December is now at the end, I'm going back into Just for Joy. We have a whole bunch of lessons there, and that's not going to overlap into December. It will all come this week and next week. So the first one for that, as well, as long as my health stays okay, there'll be a video tomorrow. If I need a little extra time, it will be on Wednesday. Okay, so that will be in Just Joy. Nice. Any questions on that? Any clarifications? Also, because I was away for the weekend, I haven't kept up super well on processing registrations. That's the word I'm looking for. So I will be doing that as well before there's any more content published. Make sense? Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad you're here, even if I did a crazy title technique that you don't love. It's okay. Sometimes I have to do things that makes you go, oh, I wouldn't do that. And you can learn just as much from seeing something that you know you shouldn't do as something you could. All right? Yeah, I'm not super unhealthy or anything. I can just feel that there's something a little off. And you know how when you start to go, is this going to be something big, or is this just a day of my immune system fighting off? And I have spent the weekend on trains and in a packed theater. So it probably is just my immune system going, hello, why did you dive into humanity in such a crowded kind of way? So I'm sure it'll be fine, but I am telling myself out loud and letting you keep me accountable for, if I don't feel well, I should rest rather than get sick. Yeah? I will be there for you if you need that message too. Yeah? Oh, yeah, I'm all vitamined up. We're good. Nikki says, are there any more lives for Just Joy left? Yes, there is one, but it comes near the end. So I want to get all of the lessons that need to come before that up before I set the timing for that one. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you at least on Friday, maybe, and if you want to come watch the unboxing in the week or in class, that'd be great. You can take a class from me anytime. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.